Michael from myrod.com, and today it's 67 Heaven today. Do you like 67 Mustangs? My guess is you do, and that's probably why you're watching this video. And there's 3 67s in here today, and not just any 67s. First, let me ask you a question. Put your comments, if you've got an answer, down below, because I'd love to hear from you. Is it possible that this yellow 67 Hypo GT convertible, one of 50 ever made by Ford, and it also happens to have a Paxton supercharger added by the original owner, is it possible that's the rarest 67 Mustang in existence? Possibly. It's possible. Or how about this red 1967 Fastback, also a K code? It's a one owner, it's original paint, it's like it came from the factory. Absolutely the best Survivor I've ever seen in my life. Is it possible that that's the best Survivor K code 67 in existence? It's possible. I'm going to do videos about both cars, so come back and check those videos, and I'll share what I've learned about them. Both of them are incredible. They have incredible stories. But that's not the topic of today's video. Today, the topic is this incredible S-Code 390 Fastback in a rare and unusual color. Now, it's not near as rare as the K-Codes behind me, but it's still super desirable and a very interesting car. And I'm going to walk you through the things that got my attention about this car. And we'll learn a little bit about S-Codes and why this particular S-Code is pretty doggone special. Okay, so the first thing that caught my eye, and probably catches your eye too, is the color combination on this car, both interior and exterior. What color is it? It's called burnt amber. We're going to look at the trim tag in just a minute and go through all the codes, but it's burnt amber and it's got saddle interior. Not a common color. I'll talk about the Marty Report call out on that in a minute and how many were made. Not that many. But also, even rarer than the color is the special 67 only 1-year option rear grille. I love it. Totally love it. Now, it would have come body color, or it would have come I would call it gunmetal gray. And here's an example in this picture of the two options you would have had. Now, whoever painted this car took a little artistic license in both the tint on this paint. This is not exactly OEM spec. It's got a little more pearl, a little more snap to it, if you will. I love it. It's a little more exciting than the factory burnt amber. And this was tinted to blend with the burnt amber, but again, it would have been body color or the gunmetal gray. Anyway, it's gorgeous. Now, you'll also notice it's got very nice aftermarket wheels, kind of a period correct look. So let's walk around, take a look at them. I think they're perfect for the presentation on this car. So how do you like the wheels? I think they look fantastic. I'm actually a fan of this wheel on just about any vintage car, and it looks particularly good, I think, on this 67 Mustang. You know, it is a period type wheel. You could have gotten a wheel like this. This is a modern American racing wheel. It looks fantastic. Now, I've got the Marty Report. I mentioned it a minute ago, and according to the Marty Report, it came with style steel wheels. That's very cool. That's an optional wheel. You typically saw style steel wheels on a GT. It's kind of unusual to see it on a non-GT, but this car, whoever ordered this car, ordered a lot of GT options. It has disc brakes. That's almost always a GT option. It's got the Equilock rear end. Very cool. That's almost always a GT option. It's a 4-speed. It's got an in-dash tack. So someone sat there and said, I want GT options, but guess what? I'm not going to order the GT design elements. So it's a cool car. It's a 390, but what's important to know, 390 and GT are separate packages. You could get one independent of the other, or you could get them together. In this case, this is a 390 non-GT. So color, let's see what Marty Report says about the color. Okay, so they made, in the Fastback line in 67, they made 2,767 Fastbacks in this color. Now keep in mind, I think the number for total Mustangs in 67 is around 417,000. I have a hard time remembering all these numbers, but it's somewhere in that area. So hey, 2,767, that's a very small number. Now the number with saddle interior and burnt amber is only 837. So cars that would look like this, it doesn't make them an S-Code, 4-speed, or anything else, but if they had this color combination, only 837, call it, out of 417,000. Yeah, that's rare. That's rare in anybody's book. So as you go through the rest of these options, this car is as built. Now let's go look at the trim tag on the driver's side door and go through those options. So one of the things that I love that Ford did on these early vintage Mustangs is they put a door trim tag in the door. Now the door trim tag's like your DNA call out as to how the car was built. Very important. Now, let me make an important note real quick. They get changed. Sometimes they're beat up and someone changes them in the restoration, so it's no longer the original, but it still may be accurate and correct. Or they get changed because someone wants the car to be something that it wasn't, or what they want it to be. Now in 67, the good news is you have a Marty report, so you can confirm if this is in fact correct. And this is in fact correct. This is the OEM original door tag. It's never been changed. Let's go through it item by item and see how this car came from the factory. Okay, so the very first item is 63A. That means it's a Mustang fastback body. The next code is V, burnt amber paint. The next code is 2F, that's for your saddle bucket seat interior, standard. The next code is 27J. It means it was scheduled to be built in September 27th, 1966. Next code is 53. That's the DSO or the district that ordered it. That was in Kansas City. The next code is D. That's your 325 Equilock rear axle ratio. And the last code is 5, and that's for 4-speed transmission. So very cool. I love the fact that the original one is still with the car, and I like the fact the Marty report documents that everything lines up. Now let's take a look at this interior and look at some of the highlights in there. Okay, so you're looking at a really lovely interior. You do not see this saddle color very often. And what you probably can't see in the camera is a chocolate or brown dash and chocolate or brown carpet. And that came with this saddle interior, and it really is good looking, and it certainly color coordinates with the exterior. Now we also have a optional console, lower console with the cool roll top. And we have an optional overhead console, so it has both consoles. Now this is not the original steering wheel. We have the original steering wheel that came with the car. This is an aftermarket steering wheel, of course. And of course I mentioned the tack, I mentioned the disc brakes. They're very noticeable when you sit in this car. It's got the fold down seat, which is an option. Not all of them came with fold down seats in 1967. I definitely am a fan of the fold down seat. Yeah, you're probably saying enough already. Let's look at the engine and go for a test drive, and that's exactly what we're going to do now. Well, take a look at this. This is impressive. Now, this car, this engine bay area was restored to MCA standards, so it's got the chalk marks, the stamps, the things you would have seen from the factory, and a lot of attention to detail. It's got all the right factory stickers. It's got the battery cover representing what the battery would have looked like, correct battery cables, just on and on and on. It really presents almost exactly like it would have been day one when it rolled off the showroom floor. Very impressive. Hard to get them like this, but that's what we have right here. Now, this big, beautiful blue engine, really nicely accented with these chrome pieces, the big chrome valve covers, powered by Ford. I love that. It says that on both sides. The giant air cleaner. This is unique to 67 with the cutouts here on both sides. And the nice sticker, High Performance 390. Big chrome cover. Just gorgeous. It just gets your heart racing. Very impressive. And as I said earlier, first year ever for a Mustang to have a big block in 1967. And that's what this is. A big block fastback Mustang. Well, let's fire it up. Let's listen to it and let's go for that test drive. Okay, fixing to go on a test drive here. This is only the second time I've driven this car, and I thought I would share that experience with this video. We'll be up here where we can go highway speeds in just a second. Okay. Steer super easy. It's a power steering car, so definitely easy to steer. All right. Beat this traffic out here. Pulls good. It's got some torque. It definitely pulls. Woo. It'll get up to the speed limit, highway speed limit, and exceed it easily. So you know you're in a big block. Yeah, this motor feels really good. Brakes feel good too. You know, I'm a fan of 67 Ford disc brakes. When they're right, they feel good. They feel pretty modern. You can stop with a lot of confidence, and these are exactly that. Okay. It doesn't take this car very long to go to a place that I'm not willing to go. A lot of on-demand acceleration right there. That's fun. That's a lot of fun. It's very throaty. It's got a very authoritative sound outside the car for sure. Woo! Wow. It sounds great, and it runs great. This is why people love these cars. They're so much fun. We got a good one here. The last test drive, I can see this temperature gauge is showing me the car's not getting hot. And it's hot outside. It's Texas, September 2nd, I believe here. And yeah, it's hot. But it's not hot in the cabin. And the engine's not hot. That's kind of a brag for a big block. Okay, so this road right here is rough as a cob. This car is super tight. It's not rattling and bumping into itself. Tight car. Looking at the body of this car, you can see this thing was super well preserved and obviously was in a good climate, or not put in bad weather if it ever was in a bad climate. Metal is in the 95 or better percentile and what you would hope to get in terms of original OEM Ford metal. It's fantastic. And that's what gets Tyler and I excited. That's the starting point of a great car. If you don't have that, if you lack body integrity, pretty much nothing else matters. So this car's got it all going for it. Seemed like a good one to me. Okay, hope the test drive was helpful. Adios.